Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to part 44 of the GTO Trainer. Why is it showing that? How do I close that? Okay. Well, it's showing my previous hand history from the last episode. Nonetheless, under the gun +1 opens. We're on the button with King Deuce suited. Up against a very tight, strong under the gun range. We're most likely going to be outkicked in a lot of situations. And we're pretty much only going to be playing our suited or not, so this is going to be an easy fold. Next hand here, we open on the hijack with ace, jack, offsuit, cut off 3 bets, folds back around to us. This is going to be an easy snap fold. If it was suited, it would be a 4 bet, I'm assuming, or a call. Yep, so about 50-50 between them. But with the ace, jack, just missing out on so much extra equity, as I can't seem to close this tab. There we are. With the ace, jack, you're just missing out on so much extra equity. Without being suited, and as you can see on the right hand side, the cutoff is going to have a very tight, strong range that we need to make sure we're reflecting with that, and pretty much only really calling with hands that have some post-flop playability, and folding a lot of hands that are very polarized that are going to be outkicked in a lot of situations and get us into more trouble than not. Next hand here with under the gun +2 opens. We're on the small blind with one of those hands that's pretty much polarized. We're either going to hit something or nothing, and we're going to be outkicked in a lot of situations. And even when we hit something, most likely not going to be good in a lot of situations, and we could end up losing a really big pot. Next hand here, under the gun +2 opens. We're in the low jack with an offsuit king. Once again, easy snap fold for the same reasons that we've said. Outkicked in a lot of situations. Not a lot of post-flop playability, even though we are in position and we can't really be raising, and we don't want to call to allow any players in behind. Next hand here, under the gun opens. We 3-bet from the small blind with ace-5 suited. Under the gun comes in with a 4-bet. Now, I'm under the impression that GTO loves ace-5 suited. It's got that wheel, which is some extra equity. It's got the suited, which is some extra equity, and obviously it has the ace as well, and as a way to balance out our 4-bet, 5-bet frequencies. It really does like it. So we are going to come in with the 5-bet, but would we come with the 5-bet of all in, or we come with the 5-bet of 40? The 5-bet of 40 does mean that we're leaving less than a pot behind, because there would be 80 in the pot, and we're only leaving about 60 behind. So it would be all in on the flop. So that's why I do angle towards all in. But would we go all in against what is a very, very tight, strong under the gun range? I don't think so. So personally, I still angle towards a fold. And I am correct. Fantastic. So I'm assuming some of it is... so saying sometimes call, sometimes fold. Well, sorry, sometimes raise, sometimes call. But then majority fold, yeah. And then a lot of these hands... mostly going all in with a lot of them, so yeah, all in, a little bit of calling, and then just putting in a 4-bet with aces. I'm assuming just trying to incentivize under the gun just to go all in themselves with any of their bluffs, for example, and then be happy with if we fold them out. Even so, nothing better than winning aces uncontested and not having to really fight for it, and potentially losing a really, really big pot with aces. No worse feeling. So exact same hand here. This time we have a offsuit ace that's going to be outkicked in a lot of situations. Doesn't have any post-flop playability. Under gun +1, we have some offsuit garbage. Easy snap fold. Same when the cutoff opens, and we once again got that polarizing offsuit weak ace. Easy snap fold. Outkicked in a lot of situations. Not a lot of post-flop playability. Undergun opens when the hijack with ace-10 offsuit. Easy snap fold. Not a lot of post-flop playability. Outkicked in a lot of situations. We can't be raising, not strong enough to raise, and against undergun range. And we can't be calling in order to not let in players behind. Next hand here, we're in the hijack with some offsuit garbage. Easy snap fold. Next hand, low jack opens. We got some offsuit garbage. Once again, easy snap fold. We open hijack with 10-9 of spades, button 3-bet. So the button's going to be 3-betting a little bit wider than any other 3-bet, as they have absolute position, so they can be 3-betting a little bit wider. They are 3-betting Not necessarily late position, but definitely later middle position. So we are going to be opening a little bit wider than, for example, an early position under the gun, under +1, etc. A 4-bet here doesn't make any sense, as it would only really isolate really strong hands from the button, and it does open the door for the button to 5-bet jam, or just come in for 5-bet that we got to fold to. So I do like a call here. Do have a hand that can play pretty well up against a button's 3-betting range. We probably most likely have 2 live cards, no cards being dominated, and it's a pretty easy hand to play post-flop. Board comes 6-6-4, all rainbow. We do have 1 spade there, but not a whole lot going for us, so we're going to be playing a check-fold strategy. Jack of hearts rolls off. Haven't picked up any extra equity, so we're once again going to be check-folding. 3 of hearts on the river. We do, backdoor hearts come in. Once again, probably way too thin to try to go for value. We're not really going to be bluffing off hands like ace highs or king highs, for example, I don't believe. We can't really credibly represent a 6. We could potentially have some jack X that we can represent, because pretty much the only 6 in our range is like ace 6 suited, for example. We could potentially have, like ace jack suited that we would raise then call, for example, but that's pretty much about it. So I'd prefer just to check here, and then we'll get a check back. So they're saying on the turn we should have gone little small sizing just to try to, I'm assuming, just take the pot, considering that they haven't really shown any interest in it. And then they're saying that we should have gone for a chunky bet on the river, given that they haven't shown any interest, and try to steal it from them, as we can, we do have some more 6x than they do, as they would probably just be defending with like their 7-6 suited, 6-5 suited, for example, and we could be potentially opening with those and then calling afterwards, try to credibly represent that, or credibly represent that we backdoored into a flush, maybe. And I guess, the main thing there being that they haven't really showed any interest in the pot, so we definitely can't really be weighting them towards anything. But I would consider that ace high would be calling a lot of the time there, thinking that it's good, thinking that, as long as we pretty much don't have that 6, we're not going to have 4x, we're not going to have 3x, we might have jack X, that's about it. But we also got to consider that they could have better jack X, like we could potentially have ace jack, maybe, but that's about it. Moving on to the next hand, cutoff opens. Well, we've got an offsuit queen, easy snap fold. We would be opening that ourselves from the button, but not a good candidate for a button calling or button 3-betting, as we would mostly be 3-betting there, as we don't want to allow either of the blinds in. Cutoff opens, we're in the small blind of ace-10 suited. It's going to be a very standard 3-bet. Try to isolate a little bit of the cutoff's range here, and make sure the big blind can't come in behind. Cutoff comes in with a 4-bet. This is going to be an easy snap fold. We're going to be outkicked in a lot of situations, potentially lose a really big pot, and we are heads up out of position, so we don't really want to be playing a big pot. So they're saying the 3-bet about 70-30, and then very standard fold, well, about an 85-15. Next hand here, under the gun opens when low jack with an offsuit king. This is going to be an easy snap fold. Outkicked in a lot of situations, not a lot of post-flop playability. Under the gun +1 with ace-10 offsuit, easy snap fold. We would be raising ace-10 suited, but ace-10 offsuit, not a lot of post-flop playability. Polarizing hand, just really weak, and we're missing out on that extra equity from this having a suited ace. Under the gun +2 opens when the hijack with offsuit ace, not a lot of post-flop playability, outkicked in a lot of situations. Could be a hand that will get us into a little bit of trouble. When under the gun +1 with a offsuit garbage, very easy snap fold. Very tight strong under the gun open when the low jack with some offsuit garbage. Once again, easy snap fold. Low jack opens when the cutoff with queen 8 suited, easy snap fold. Even though we are suited, not a lot of post-flop playability, even up against a little bit of a wider middle position open. Under the gun +1 opens, we're on the button with ace queen suited. This is going to be an easy 3-bet. I'm assuming it's about to say that we should be just calling. Yeah, so saying we should just be calling. I'm assuming the idea is we don't want to be isolating too much of a strong range from under the gun +1. But a call here would most certainly bring in at least one of the blinds. So that's why I don't enjoy what's it called? I don't enjoy the call here at all. That's because then we're playing multi-way pots, which makes things infinitely more difficult. Undergun checks on a Jack 9 rainbow board. This is going to be a very easy C bet for us. We have all the strong ace highs. We got all the what's it called? We got all the strong pocket pairs. We could there. You would think that they would probably bet at it if they did have a jack. Maybe not, especially because the only real jacks they got is ace jack, maybe king jack. That's about it. Maybe queen jack suited. So I definitely like a nice small sizing here. Just kind of see where we're at. King of clubs rolls off. When they call on the flop, they must have at least something. So they can either have we can either be chopping with the same hand in terms of ace queen. Ace king would most likely put in a 5-bet, or at least ace king suited would put in the 5-bet. Ace king off might be just flatting there a little bit of the time. So we kind of can take ace king majority of the time out here. So we don't think they've got a strong ace, which they would be continuing with. They would be continuing with a jack, pretty much any jack, for example. They would be continuing with any pocket pair, so pocket 10s, pocket 8s, pocket 7s. And then any over pairs such as queens. They wouldn't have kings because kings would 4-bet. So they could have queens, could have a jack, could have 10s, could have 8s, could have 9s. Maybe, and then they potentially might have just gotten a what's it called? A turn full house potentially with some king jack, queen jack. So I reckon this is going to be an easy check here. No real need to bet at it. We're only getting called by better. And there's no need to try to bet him off a chop. And then on the river, way too thin to go for value from pretty much anything. We believe they have at minimum. They got to have something on such a dry static board. There's nothing really for them to continuing with that didn't get there. All the straights got there. One-liner, well, not one-liner. Wait, is it a one-liner? 8, 9, 10. No, it's not a one-liner. Oh, no, it is a one-liner to an... no, because queen 10. You need queen 10. But pretty much like queen 10 for the open ender got there. Pretty much all the draws got there that were there on the flop that they could be calling with, or they've just got a strong ace that they've committed with, and there's no point trying to bluff off a chop, for example. So I like a check back, and there you go. They got a king. So I don't really know what their gut shot. I guess king high. I guess seems like a very wide call, in my opinion. Yeah, okay, so they're saying it should be 100% a call. Fair, well, 80% a call. So they're saying we should have try to continue our story with about a 1/3 pot, continue our story that we've got a jack or an overpair. But just kind of when they call on the flop there, I guess maybe I could still hear that, they might give up after calling on the flop. You got to continue to just tell your story, I get that. But on such a dry static board, what are they really calling with? Unless they got to have something that they have a lot of commitment to, that if they're calling on such a dry static paired board. And then they're saying, so there's no solution for that one due to how little we would be checking on the turn is what they're saying. So yeah, there's our hands. So 21 hands, 27 moves, 90%, 91% GTO score. Blunders coming from not taking a stab to try to steal that 10-9 hand. And then not continuing our story with the ace queen hand here. So we've clicked the button over here. So skilled, we don't get the frogs. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed something. Correction, hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, play well.